China's history is one of the longest, richest, and most influential stories on Earth, a story stretching across more than 5,000 years, filled with legendary dynasties, powerful emperors, technological revolutions, cultural achievements, devastating wars, and remarkable transformations. It begins in the misty prehistoric world, on the riverbanks of the Yellow River and Yangtze River, where early humans shaped the foundations of what would become one of humanity's greatest civilizations. Chinese history is not just a sequence of dates and rulers. It is a journey of ideas, inventions, philosophies, struggles, unity, and survival. It is the story of a people who have constantly rebuilt, reimagined, and renewed their civilization through cycles of prosperity and hardship. The earliest roots of China trace back to Neolithic cultures such as Yangshao and Longshan. In these early societies, people cultivated millet, raised animals, made pottery, and lived in organized villages. Over thousands of years, they developed rituals, farming techniques, bronze tools, and early writing symbols. According to Chinese legend, the story of civilization begins with the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, mythical rulers who taught humanity how to plow the fields, raise animals, heal sickness, govern communities, and create order from chaos. Figures like Fuxi, Shang, and the Yellow Emperor stand between myth and early history, representing China's deep cultural memory and symbolic beginnings. Around 2070 BCE, the Qing Dynasty emerged, considered by tradition to be China's first dynasty. Although archaeological evidence is still debated, the Qing Dynasty marks the symbolic start of China's political history. It was followed by the Shang Dynasty, which left behind concrete archaeological remains, including bronze artifacts, oracle bones, and the earliest proven Chinese writing system. The Shang kings ruled from walled cities, communicated with ancestors through divination, and expanded a culture based on bronze technology, warfare, and ritual. Their society laid the foundation for Chinese religion. After the Shang came the Zhou Dynasty, one of the most influential periods in Chinese history. The Zhou introduced the concept of the mandate of heaven, the belief that rulers governed with divine approval, and that this approval could be lost if they became corrupt. This idea shaped Chinese politics for thousands of years. The Zhou era also witnessed the rise of China's greatest philosophical traditions. Confucius taught ethics, morality, family loyalty, and good governance. Laozi inspired Taoism, emphasizing harmony with nature and the flow of the universe. Legalist philosophers argued for strict laws and centralized power. These competing ideas shaped China's identity and influenced its rulers, culture, and people throughout history. But the Zhou dynasty eventually collapsed into the chaotic warring states period, a time of intense conflict among rival kingdoms. For centuries, states battled for control of China, perfecting new strategies, technologies, and administrative systems. Out of this conflict rose Qin Shi Huang, the king of Qin, who in 221 BCE conquered all rivals and declared himself the first emperor of China. Under the Qin dynasty, he unified the writing script, standardized currency and weights, built a national road system, and began constructing the early Great Wall. Although his rule was harsh and short-lived, Qin Shi Huang transformed China into a centralized empire. After the fall of the Qin, the Han dynasty emerged, marking one of the most glorious periods in Chinese history. The Han era saw tremendous advancements in agriculture, science, literature, and technology. The Silk Road opened, connecting China with Central Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Chinese silk, paper, and inventions traveled westward, while horses, spices, and new cultural influences flowed eastward. Confucianism became the state philosophy, shaping education, government, and society. The Han dynasty built the foundations of Chinese identity, culture, and political structure. Even today, the majority ethnic group in China calls itself the Han people. In honor of this great era, after the Han collapsed, China entered centuries of division. Dynasties rose and fell in the north and south. Nomadic tribes invaded, and conflicts reshaped the region. Buddhism entered China during this time, blending with Chinese culture and becoming one of its most important religions. Then came the Sui dynasty, short-lived but crucial in reunifying China and beginning the construction of the Grand Canal, one of the greatest engineering achievements in human history. The Tang dynasty followed, often regarded as China's golden age. The Tang era was marked by poetry, art, cosmopolitan cities, flourishing trade, and a powerful centralized government. Chang'an, the Tang capital, became the largest and most multicultural city in the world, where merchants, scholars, monks, artists, and travelers from many countries gathered. The Tang produced world-renowned poets like Li Bai and Du Fu, whose works remain deeply influential. Under the Tang, China stood as a global superpower, admired for its wealth, sophistication, and military strength. The Song dynasty succeeded the Tang, bringing new waves of innovation. During the Song era, China became the world's most advanced civilization in terms of technology, economics, and culture. Gunpowder, the compass, and printing, three of the four great inventions, spread widely during this period. The Song government established a sophisticated bureaucracy, advanced farming techniques, and a booming economy. Cities expanded, trade flourished, and artistic achievements in painting and ceramics reached extraordinary heights. Despite military weakness and threats from nomadic groups, the Song dynasty remains one of the most intellectually and economically vibrant periods in Chinese history. But the rise of the Mongols changed everything. In the 13th century, Genghis Khan and his descendants created the largest land empire in history. Kublai Khan conquered China in 1279 and founded the Yuan dynasty. Though foreign ruled, the Yuan connected China more deeply to global trade, welcoming merchants like Marco Polo and encouraging artistic and scientific exchange. Yet Mongol rule faced resistance, and after less than a century, it collapsed due to rebellions, economic strain, and internal division. The Ming dynasty then rose, marking a return to Han Chinese rule. The Ming era is known for stability, strong government, and extraordinary cultural achievements. The Great Wall was expanded and reinforced to its iconic form. Major cities thrived, literature flourished, and craftsmanship reached new heights. The Ming also launched one of the greatest naval expeditions in history, the voyages of Admiral Zheng He, who commanded enormous fleets that traveled through Southeast Asia, India, the Middle East, and East Africa decades before European global exploration. Yet political struggles, corruption, and peasant uprisings weakened the Ming, paving the way for a new dynasty. In 1644, the Qing Dynasty was founded by the Manchus, an ethnic group from the northeast. They ruled China for nearly 3 centuries, expanding its territories to include Tibet, Xinjiang, Mongolia, and Taiwan. The Qing era saw population growth, cultural diversity, and long periods of peace. The arts flourished, including literature, opera, and craftsmanship. However, the Qing also faced enormous challenges: growing corruption, internal rebellions such as the Taiping Rebellion, economic weaknesses, and increasing pressure from Western imperial powers. The 19th century was a turning point in China's history. Western powers, seeking trade and influence, forced China into unequal treaties. After the Opium Wars, Hong Kong was ceded to Britain. Foreign powers gained special privileges, and China faced internal collapse. The Qing struggled to reform, but resistance from conservative factions slowed progress. As the dynasty weakened, rebellions and disasters swept across the country. In 1911, the Qing dynasty fell, ending more than 2,000 years of imperial rule. China became a republic under Sun Yat-sen, but the new government struggled with warlords, foreign influence, and political instability. The early 20th century was marked by conflict between the nationalists and communists, Japanese invasion during World War II, and a series of devastating internal wars. After Japan's defeat in 1945, the Chinese Civil War resumed, leading to the Communist Party's victory and the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Under Mao Zedong, Mao's rule brought major political and social changes, including land reforms, industrialization efforts, and campaigns such as the Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution. These events dramatically reshaped China but also caused widespread hardship and loss of life. After Mao's death in 1976, Deng Xiaoping emerged as China's paramount leader. He introduced sweeping economic reforms, opening China to global trade, foreign investment, and market-style modernization. Under his leadership, China moved from a centrally planned economy to a hybrid model that retained political control while embracing economic dynamism. Over the next decades, China experienced rapid industrialization, urbanization, and economic growth, transforming into one of the world's largest and most powerful economies. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, China became a global leader in manufacturing, infrastructure, technology, science, and international influence. High-speed rail networks, megacities, space exploration, and digital innovation became hallmarks of modern China. Companies like Huawei, Alibaba, Tencent, and BYD emerged as global giants. Meanwhile, China's political system remained tightly controlled, with the Communist Party maintaining authority over national policy, media, and social structure. Today, China stands as a modern superpower, a nation of over 1.4 billion people, with ancient traditions and cutting-edge technology coexisting side by side. Its cultural heritage, including Confucianism, Taoism, calligraphy, martial arts, traditional medicine, philosophy, poetry, and cuisine, continues to shape its identity and influence the world. China's long history is a story of unity and division, creation and destruction, innovation and tradition, expansion and resilience. Across thousands of years, China has rebuilt itself repeatedly, adapting to challenges and evolving into a nation whose impact on global culture, economy, and politics is undeniable. The story of China is ultimately a story of endurance. It is the story of a civilization that has survived countless invasions, natural disasters, internal conflicts, and dramatic shifts, yet continues to thrive, reinvent, and transform. It is a testament to the strength, creativity, and determination of its people. From ancient dynasties to modern skyscrapers, from silk scrolls to microchips, from emperors to engineers, China's journey is one of the most fascinating narratives in human history, a continuous thread that binds the past, present,